Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show. And with me in this episode, I have a life strategist specializing in relationships and parenting mentoring, as well as an antidepressant expert. Ana Lennyr, welcome to the Dave Palma Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, pleasure to have you here, Ana. And what great work you do. I'm a parent myself, so I have a 7-year-old, well, almost 7-year-old daughter next in about a couple of weeks, actually. So you could probably give me a few tips as well as my audience.
That's true. Sometimes we need to raise some awareness about the teenagers and why they slip in depression and why they're angry and why they're disobedient and why they're withdrawn and why they have anxiety. So sometimes we have to do that work too, Dave, because it's very important to prevent this condition, specifically anxiety and depression, from getting out there into life, because this is what I specialized in on the other side of my company, overcoming anxiety and depression.
Great, that's fantastic. Well, I know I could have probably done some of that as a child. Found out I had dyslexia later in life as well, but parenting could have been, helpful, more helpful as well as the school teachers in my days. But, there you go. Well, let's see how you can tell us about mastering the game of life. But first, you had some a story to tell about your own life and some adversities and obstacles you had to overcome yourself. So tell us about your background and your humble beginnings and where, before you came across all your difficulties, the journey you had, which before it led into the work you do.
So I was born in Eastern Europe, a very poor country where suffering.
Where's that?
Yeah, Romania. Yeah.
Oh, Romania. Okay.
Yeah, it's normal to suffer out there, and it's normal to be an alcoholic and to be in depression, and we all master the game of suffering usually, right? At least 40 years ago, this is how it was in that country, right? And I was started to show signs of deep sadness since the age of 7. By the age of 12, I had some back problems that they gave me a tremendous back pain, like S-shaped scoliosis, and I couldn't sit and I couldn't do exercises. Then I had migraines, headaches. I became suicidal by 19 and a half because I couldn't sleep for 2.5 years of my life, even with medicine. So, these were the hardship that I haven't encountered as a child. And at some point, I realized that, I need to fix myself, right? So I went to University of Psychology. I studied psychology. And I joke today, but nothing helped from what I've learned there. So I came out as depressed as I entered. Not a big deal, nothing succeeded to cheer me up, to get me out there, right, into the world, to make me adjust to the challenges in life, right? So because I didn't have any skills, any options, you're just going in life like a bull, exactly like a bull, and you're just fighting with it, and you just keep going. You just keep going, right? Until I was 38 years old, I had all kind of diseases like pre-diabetes and pre-non-alcoholic liver hepatitis and 2 hernias of disc and fibromyalgia and chronic pain and migraines and all of this stuff. And I was also diagnosed with a gene connected to depression and 33 types of cancer, of which my mom died overnight. And I was just 38 years old. And my son was sleeping in depression. He was carrying me from the couch to the bathroom. And I said, whoa. This gotta stop. I'm only 38. I'm not 83. Right? So I went down this hill of depression and avoiding the fact that I was hurt and in pain, things like that. And I decided to do something that I didn't know what to do. because I tried everything before. I said, I'm going to try whatever comes my way to just do something that I've never done before. So I looked for mentorships, and I found 4 mentors, and I succeeded to overcome depression in 7 months. Climb a mountain in Capri by myself. Me, who I couldn't get off a couch, right? I couldn't get off a couch, right? Lose 85 pounds. I never have a pain in my body since, right? I never have a headache. I never had any back pain. And I just changed my life. I succeeded to accomplish more in the last 7 years than my entire family in 3 generations. And today I show people how to do it.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Well, what's the key, would you say, to you overcoming all this area? Just for our audience, really. Because obviously overcoming and building resilience is sort of my key area.
Yeah, the key area is making a decision that you don't want to fight with life anymore. You don't want to be a bull. You don't want to be resilient. You don't want to deny your pain. You just want to get rid of it. You just want to eliminate it. You just want to let it go. And there are strategies and techniques to do that. There are skills that you're going to have to learn from scratch that insulate people from depression. And we who suffer from depression, we've never had access to these kind of skills. Nobody ever taught it to us, right? So this is why we are so prone to being hurt and heartbroken and offended all the time and trying to hide from the world, when the truth is we're only hiding from ourselves, and we're only dying from within every single day of our lives. Right?
Okay. So what was the epiphany then when you was going through all these problems where you realised you had to let go and then do all this work?
The epiphany was that I was a single mom at the age of 38 with tremendous problems, with a 9-year-old slipping in depression that would have become an orphan if I would have died from that particular gene overnight like my mom did, right? And my mom went through the same cycle, and she died at the age of 55 overnight. So I knew where this is going to end, how this is going to end. I saw already the movie, right? You can live a whole life in suffering and never be happy for one day, like my mom, or I can change my life and be happy for the rest of my life. Which one I'm going to?
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so that was your epiphany. Then you realised, well, this is going to really affect my son. It's going to affect me. What did you do to turn all that around?
So I actually looked for mentors who helped me in this journey of relearning how to live. And this is why we call it today Master the Game of Life. Because many of us, we only knew how to master the game of suffering. We're very good at it. We're very good at it. We're going from one suffering to another, never ending. And we're very good at mastering the game of suffering. But none of us know how to master the game of life. Because it's a different game. It's a totally different game where you have choices. You have chances that I've never thought I'm going to have. And as you saw, Dave, on my website, right, in December, I was on public stages in Florida with Julian Michaels, the fitness guru, and with Jesse Cole, the millionaire from Savannah, Bahamas, baseball team, actually. It's not a football team. With Jesse Cole, millionaire at the age of 24. I would have never dreamed that I'm going to be in the presence of these kind of people. I'm just a suicidal girl from Romania. If you think about it, right? Because you asked me about my background. That's who I am, a suicidal girl from Romania. And I am in this kind of company talking on public stages about suicide, challenges in life, about people depressed, about how to avoid depression for teenagers and young adults, right? So this is what's possible when you find your true potential deep down inside you, when you can shine your light, not to hide it in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you managed to turn it around. You found the magic formula for mastering the game of life. Tell us your journey of how you did that before you went into the work you do to actually share it with others.
So in the 7 months that I went through, the mentorship that I went through, it was a relearning how to walk, if you want to call it this way, Dave, right? I mean, I had to relearn everything. The first thing that we have learned is about relationships, how to master relationships. I never knew about how to master relationships. What are you talking about, right? I mean, I never knew anything like this. If I would have known this, I wouldn't have killed myself at the age of 19, right? I mean, things like that nobody told me that you have to take a relationship course before you get married. Okay, sorry, but nobody told me that, okay? I went to University of Psychology and they had a sex course, but they didn't have a relationship course. I'm like, I'm not interested in the sex part. I know how to do that. I'm interested in if I should choose my husband or not before I make a mistake. And world and behold, I made a mistake. He was a narcissist. And after 9 years, I was in deep suffering.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So things like that no wonder we all get depressed, and depressed from like one type of depression, like in my case, my childhood depression, to another type of depression, being heartbroken, right after a marriage. So we're just like swinging sides of what suffering we're on, right? In the game of suffering, we're just like, oh, going to the right, we're going to the left, but we're in the same game, right? If you think about it, we're in the same part, right? So this is the first thing that I teach people, how relationships work, because it doesn't matter if you are in a family situation with your spouse or with your children. Building amazing family relationships out there, Dave, it will, how should I explain? It will prevent any kind of depression, anxiety, hardships later on. Yeah. It will help you. It will help you solidify emotionally, find your identity, and never be broken. That starts with a family, relationships.
Right. That really makes sense, actually. Collaboration and relationships, that is a key component of the kind of resilience work I do, for people overcoming adversity. But so tell us where you moved on from there. The first thing you had to do was learn about building relationships, which obviously is very important. We all learn this from even the recent pandemics. Everyone was locked down in a house or wherever, possibly on their own or with other people, and they realize how much relationships need to be valued, don't they? Exactly.
But it's a little bit more than that. For example, most people believe that they are unique. And you know something? I want to believe I'm unique too. Okay. But I tell people, I'm sorry, I have some bad news for you. There are only 4 types of men and 4 types of women in this world. And you are one of those 4 types of men or women, right? So here I teach them how your child, your spouse, your husband, your mother is a different type than you are, right? Who you are and who they are. And they're not here to hurt you. They're just here because they have a different perspective, a different set of values, a different way of thinking, okay? And when you understand that, then you don't come into the world and say, oh, this person came to hurt me. No, they had different values in life. For example, there is a specific type of man who is not interested in ever getting married. They will get married, but that's not their priority. A lot of women come to me and said, oh, he left me pregnant with a child, or he divorced me, or he abandoned me. I'm like, did you ask him if he really wants to be married? Because I don't believe he ever wanted to be married. Oh, I didn't ask him. Well, this is a specific type of man who, if you know not to try to persuade him to get married, then you're not going to get hurt. Find the other 3 types of men in the world who want to get married. Right?
Yeah.
So these kind of things, these kind of relationship dynamics, if you know them, you avoid a lot of pain from heartbreak, from abandonment, from betrayal, from all of these things, because you just didn't know the right formula. I call it the right formula. It's as simple as that. Who are you
Yes.
as a man or woman? Who are you looking for? And don't look for the wrong one who doesn't care about your values, because they have another purpose in life to care about their values. Right? So these kind of things in a relationship is very important, because this saves a tremendous amount of trouble. And you'll be surprised how many of my clients, only after understanding this little thing, relationships, they get out of depression. They got it. Right? It's so powerful. It's so important not to feel that everybody comes to get you out there in the world. Right? Everybody is here to hurt you, and you're just going to have to cocoon yourself and isolate yourself and hide from everybody. And guess what? A love life that doesn't exist is a very sad life. It's very sad to live without love. It's very, very sad. Okay? And you can't put yourself through that. Okay? No wonder we're all depressed. So this is the first thing I teach, is the relationships. And yes, there is emotional balance that we have to learn. And a lot of times emotional balance comes with deep emotional wounding, like rejection, abandonment, betrayal. These things are coming sometimes from childhood. So we are teaching people how to heal that. Okay?
Well, what about relationships with yourself? I think that's quite important to start there first, isn't it?
Yes. Because you find out who you are out of those 4 types of men and women. And you find out who everybody else is. So you're not judging them. You're not feeling ashamed of who you are. This is who I am. This is who they are. It's perfect. Everything is perfect in the world. There is no blame, shame, guilt situations like that. We call that chaos. Childhood automated operating system. When we are operating on the 3-dimensional cube of shame, blame, and guilt. Everybody has shame, blame, and guilt, right, out there. And once you drop that cube of chaos, life changes for you. It's amazing.
Yes, it makes sense. Yeah. So moving forward, tell us more about your work about how to master the game of life.
So you have to, if you have already, suffered from rejection, abandonment, betrayal, all these emotional wounds, injustice, these have to be healed. There are specific strategies, there are specific techniques that I have learned from Shaolin monks and Himalayan yogi masters, because these kind of wounds, deep emotional wounds, they stay in your body and in your mind. And you need to let them go. Those are the wounds that keep you from finding your true potential, for finding your true light, your purpose in life. So yes, we teach people how to heal each one of the 5 emotional wounds that put people in depression, if they have depression. If they're parents with teenagers, the only thing we concentrate on is relationships, make them great and amazing relationship inside the family, so they won't have to go through the process of healing. Because the process of healing, it looks like traumatic, but it's not, because you're just releasing pain. You don't have to re-experience it. A lot of people, they do, like, you have to re-experience your pain. I'm like, no, that's kookadoo. Just let it go and understand a different perspective. Understand the lesson from it. Understand you can. Understand that you're enough. Understand that your self-esteem is the one who's going to shine out there, and you need to build that with strategies, with techniques. Nobody woke up just with a great self-esteem. You need to build that in your life.
Yeah. I know. Well. Okay, that's fantastic. So what else do you do? What other work do you do in terms of mastering the game of life?
So we are helping parents with difficult teenagers. We are helping people who are looking for true love, either inside their own family, like their marriage goes down the hill, or they don't understand their partner, or the ones who have never experienced true love and they're looking for it and they don't want to be heartbroken over and over again, looking for 1,000 dates. Like we had somebody that come to us, like, I've been through 1,000 dates. What's wrong with me? I'm like, there is nothing wrong with you. You just don't know who you are and who you're looking for.
Yeah.
Very simple, all right? After 8 dates, he was engaged. After he found out who he is, okay? And who he's looking for. Yeah. You don't need 1,000 dates to figure it out. What are you, a serial dater here? Right? Come on, man. How much time do you spend with that, right? So we help with that. And if there is need for deep emotional healing to overcome anxiety and depression, as anxiety is a symptom of depression, yes, we go down that route of deep healing. That takes between 3 to 7 months, well, and it needs to be made as a decision from each person. So you're not going to make that decision for your spouse, for your friend, for your brother. You're not going to make that decision for anybody. You can only make that decision for yourself or for your child if you have a minor. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So where can people find out more about your work?
So I have my website, analennyr.com. Nevertheless, nobody knows how to spell my name. So the better way to reach me is we have a better website called Better Ask Ana. Ana with one.com. And there we have a lot of free resources. On Better Ask Ana with one.com, we have free courses about the secret map, how to overcome depression. It's just about an hour. It's a free course by video where I give you the exact formula. We have a free course called Ending Young Adult Depression. Very simple, free 1 hour of few short videos about how to help your child overcome depression. And we have free workshops for the one interested in healthy relationships or parenting teenagers. We have everything for free on that website, betteraskana with one.com.
Fantastic. Well, that's great tips you're giving out there, Ana, and obviously there's a powerful story you had to share, about yourself, where you come from, really, in terms of emotionally and socially, and how you've actually managed to turn it around. So I really do appreciate you coming on the show and sharing this. Thanks a lot for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you for raising awareness, because this is what's important. People don't have to suffer. They don't have to see that they don't have choices, right? They have chances. They have choices. And you are raising this awareness. So thank you.
It's my pleasure, Ana. Once again, thank you.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening. And remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. Or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palmer Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.